CMH, the world leader in historic auto sim racing, presents Auto 22 Racing. A very good day to you. Welcome along to Croft Motor Racing Circuit for the first round of the BARC Manfuela Formula 4 Championship, featuring a very interesting lineup of drivers from not just the UK but across the world, with drivers coming from as far as South Africa and Russia to compete. We've got a booking of 8 cars booked in for today's race meeting as we get the first round of the championship underway. So we're going to start things off with our qualifying session for the Formula Ford cars. This will be the first session of the day, as you could probably imagine. So we'll be underway very shortly. We've got a 4-session programme to get through today. We've got one 50-minute qualifying session to start off the day. Followed up by that will be a 11-lap heat for the odd-numbered qualifiers. Then we've got an even-numbered qualifiers in heat number 2, and then all the cars will be put together for an all-in grand final. So the points will be only paying towards the final this evening here for the Formula Ford cars. We've got certainly plenty of cars to try and get through. We've got a good entry of drivers, as already mentioned, and hopefully we'll be in for some good stuff. We've got the Sports 2000 champion from last season, Owen Potter, booked in from the United Kingdom. He is in car number 28 this evening. I've got plenty of other drivers elsewhere around the grid. So we'll get a quick explanation for you of the various bits of ins and outs you need to know about the Formula Fords to make this entire thing make sense. So we're going to start off, first of all, already done the race format for you. Just to reiterate that, the way the heats will work is that each heat will contain only half of the cars booked in. The cars will head out for qualifying first of all, and then that will obviously start to decide what heat they're going to be in. So if you qualify in an odd position, example position 1, position 3, etc., you'll be drawn into heat number 1, and the even number positions will be going into heat number 2. Then the race times from the 2 heats will be combined together to make the final grid. So even if you win one of your heats, you may not necessarily be on pole position because somebody may have got a quicker race time in the opposite heat to you. The heats will be 11 laps of racing, with the final being 20. And every race day will be a standing start. No installation laps for these cars either, so they just have to go when the lights go out, or in this case, probably the Union Jack is thrown from the starting gantry. So just a bit of information about the track as well. We're here at Croft, the track based on the disused RAF Croft base, which was used in World War II, as with many of the tracks here in the UK. But I believe we are currently during the qualifying session, and a couple of minutes of track action so far. We've already got the quickest lap been set by David Saber, number 83. I say that as he just gets knocked down to second place as Pascal McCullough goes fastest with a 1:16.825. He is currently leading the standings by just a tenth of a second over David Saber from Owen Potter in third. Then we've got Simon Witts down there in fourth place as well in number 32. He's about 1.5 seconds off, as we've just seen another quick final sector going from David Saber there. He just got the quickest final sector of the session so far, but it wasn't enough to topple Pascal. Got a big crash down there as well as McCullough, as I went back onto the stream there, just hit one of the bales. I believe that's down the railway straight. That car is a little bit second hand now, should we say. Here's Matthew Saboni coming round. He is out in car number 2 today, the South African. He's making his way down the railway straight now towards the Hawthorne Bend complex, which is now, of course, if you know the current Croft circuit, is now the first corner of the course. Matthew is currently on his first lap of the day. This may very well be his out lap he's on. He's not completed a flying lap yet, so we'll get things sorted out. And just whilst we're here as well, I will point out that I am going to be your commentator this evening, Ben Singleton, who should be taking you through all the action today. Whether I'll get any of the facts right is a different question. Saboni coming out of the final chicane back towards the main straight they come, and we'll just see if he gets anything across the timing line. David Saber's crossing line behind him. And Sabre has just 1:30.6. So his quickest final sector there, but the first two sectors were slower than his previous run. I suspect he may have had a spin in the first sector since he was about 7 seconds off his previous best. We're still waiting for a few cars to set lap times. Matthew Saboni and Joe Gillett in cars turn 57. They're still yet to set lap times on the sheets at the moment. Saboni, I believe, is on his first out lap as they make their way around the circuit. Owen Potter out there as well at the front of the grid. Currently third place in the timing in number 28. He's on a 1:17.9 thus far. And off the road goes Dimitri Shudroff in the 31 car. We'll also apologise in advance for any mispronunciations of the drivers that have come from outside of the UK, as it must be said that languages was not my best subject in school, and we've just had a bit of a tank tapper there as the 31 car has a bit of a moment coming out of the final chicane there. So we're just seeing what the lap times are going to look like as we keep on circling. So Matthew Sponi now gets his first lap set at 1:18.204. He goes into position number 4. At the moment, your two provisional pole sitters for the heats are Pascal Makula and David Sabre. They are only separated by about a tenth of a second, but that in Formula Ford racing is actually quite a big gap. Joe Gillett is still yet to set a lap time of 57. Now, if that's the same Joe Gillett that I remember from racing on the ovals, he did a brief spell at a league called Wider in a formula called the Stock Rods on the quarter mile ovals, and did fairly well in them. He got a few points on the charts. We're just looking at Whit making his way down towards Tower Bend, which is the first corner in this particular configuration. He just pulled off there, so he's obviously not going for another lap. Here's David Sabre coming round again. He's, like I say, saying some decent lap times in the second position. He's just trying to find that tenth of a second to get to Makula as they make their way down the start finish line. Here comes Sabre to complete another lap. What's he going to get this time? I think that was just an out lap, that one. So he's going to make his way around to start another flying lap as Shudroff has just gone quicker. He's now got a 1:29.6. But he's still 12 seconds adrift, and Joe Gillett gets a lap time in now of a 1:24.2. So we are still missing one car from the lineup. We're missing number 92, I believe, who's not here. As Sabre runs a bit wide. Watch out for the braking board. Well, the braking board apparently is invincible, so that was a fairly lucky situation there. As he makes his way around. That's round the top of the course, Sunny Corner. Corner is now a double apex corner in real life as the track deviates away from the railway straight now and has a complex as they make their way back to the start finish line there. We've lost Sabioni into retirement there. He's had a spin down at Spa Bend. I think that car lost the back end and has gone round. As Sabre coming round to complete another lap as they come into the chicane. Locks up a little bit there, nearly goes straight on, but he's been able to keep it just around the straight. Now we get a nice nose camera shot as he comes round to complete another lap. What's he going to get this time round? Just waiting for the live timing to update. And he goes quickest, 1:16.711. So he's now got the pole time by about a tenth of a second, just over. Pascal Makula dropped down to second place now. The rest of the field are playing catch-up behind, trying to make their way forwards. Just giving an update on how much of the session is left. We've got 3 minutes 20 seconds of this qualifying session left to run. So we're in the closing stages now, just seeing if we're going to see any quick times get set in the latter stage. This is when the track grip will be at its optimum, so the track will be more grippy and therefore quicker lap times are probably expected. We've got Matthew Saboni back out on a lap as well, but he's just gone back to the pits, so that lap didn't count. Best first sector as well, going out for Pascal Makula in second place, a 25.2 1:57 in the first sector of the lap there. So he's obviously got the foot down, but I think he's just gone back to the pits as well. So everybody going back to the pits as David Sabra goes for a quickest first sector as well on that particular lap. Here comes Joe Gillett back to the start and finish line. I believe he's currently on an out lap, as most of the cars are. In fact, I think there's only one car out in a quick lap at the moment. And Gillett goes across the line to start his next flying lap. So there's still just under 2.5 minutes to go. So there is time for drivers to get a lap or two more in. And it could be very important, this final run, as Gillett throws it sideways, coming round. I believe that might have been Tower Bend. He just threw it sideways as they go into the S's now, 57. The S's, of course, are still there on the modern day lap, although they've got a tyre barrier right up against them these days. Coming now into the hard braking zone and the right-hand flick of Sonny Corner. He's going to run wide, and there's some hay bales, and that's a very broken Formula Ford car. Straight into the hay bales, front left wheel completely ripped off, the nose cone went flying as well. I got another collision there, Sabiani hit the back of Shrudroff, going out of, that was going out of the S's, I believe. McHugh would have to deviate round that car, so that was our first, I believe, car-on-car collision in this session. Here comes Owen Potter, running well so far in his machine, number 28, deviating away from his normal number. So is Potter on a flying lap? Yes, he set a best second sector. And now can he top off and get a best third sector? So he's coming to the start-finish line now. He's crossed the timing line. What's the transponder going to say? We'll find out when... Yep, there he goes. He goes into third place now. So 1:17.188 for Owen Potter there to go up into the third position. Anybody else out on a flying lap? We've currently got David Sabre, I think, going out on another quick lap. He's just at a purple first sector as he makes his way into sector 2. Just waiting to see if anyone's coming around. Pascal McCullough is coming around to complete a lap, I believe. He's just gone through and set a 1:17.141. So just waiting to see what else is going to happen here. We've got another one coming round. That's Sizzleman Witz in number 32. He comes across the line and gets a 1:18.836 that time. So a fair distance off his previous best lap time. Another lap time coming in for Shudroff, a 1:52.447. Again, a fair chunk away from his quickest lap time. We've only got 5 seconds to go. So the fastest lap there goes out to David Sabra, a 1:16.208, and he got that at the dying embers of the session. But I think he's still one more lap to do as he crossed the line with about 3 seconds left on the clock. So Bioni's finished his run. Owen Potter gets his best lap of the session and goes through into second place with a 1:16.730. A good run there from Potter in the closing stages of that session. Now, is anybody else left to do a lap? I think we've got Witt still out on a lap in number 32. He's currently 1.7 seconds off the quickest lap time. We're looking at Shudroff on the stream. Or rather, not David Sabre, sorry, on the stream. Now, I think he's on his final lap of the session since he crossed the line, as I said, with about 3 seconds left. So he got a chance for another lap. He gets past the slow-moving car at Hawthorne of Shudroff, who's a bit off the pace here, 13 seconds off the pace to be exact. As they come round to complete the session, we've got nobody else seems to be setting any quicker lap times at the moment. Most people have gone back to this as Joe Gillett gets his fastest lap of the session there, 1:18.618, the reigning Gold Star champion. So he managed to get up to 6th place. David Sabre didn't go quicker that time around. He's stuck there on his 1:16.2. He got a 1:16.3 on that particular occasion, and there's no other cars left on the track. So that means, as far as I'm aware, that is the order they're going to finish in for this one for the Formula Fords. So we are just going to be introduced we are just going to get the results down for this one. So as far as I can tell for you, the results are as follows of that one for the Formula Fords. So your quickest lap time was David Saber in number 83 with a 1:16.208. Second was 28 Owen Potter with a 1:16.730. Third was Pastor McKilley, number 3, with a 1:16.825. Sesman Witt in number 32 was fourth fastest with a 1:17.908. Matthew Saboni was there in fifth place, number 2. He got a 1:18.204. Joe Gillett was sixth, number 57, a 1:18.618. And Dmitry Shudrov, number 31, was seventh place with a 1:29.6. They were the 7 runners and riders in that one, and we'll be back very shortly with our first heat race of the day for the Formula Ford cars. A fantastic qualifying session with David Sabre taking the pole position for his respective heat, and Owen Potter pole position for his respective heat. The heats will be up very shortly.
That Friday feeling. You just can't keep it in.
That gators, they're picking my eyeballs all morning. And I'm hankering for something bigger than Lady Liberty on a chip. And no darn chicken lip. You catch my drift?
Drifter, the two-fingered chocolate bar with caramel and wafer.
Passes the triple-A overhead manifold sprocket.
Big English, boy.
Do you catch my drift?
Now I go into cleaning to earn an honest bonus. When I'm cleaning windows. When I'm cleaning windows.
This is Earl, and this is his particularly wholesome ham sandwich. At the moment, it contains this much calcium. Now let's add a Kraft cheese slice. Very good. Now the sandwich contains this much calcium, more than double the amount. Any questions?
What's calcium?
Kraft cheese slices are calci-yummy.
There is only one cheese that you can squeeze. Stays fresh and delicious, so every squeeze will please. With the goodness of protein, you can eat it with ease, because this cheese comes in tubes. Squeezy, squeezy tubes. Premier cheese spreads. It also squeezes.
Italiani. Baci.
Baci, delicious praline and roast hazelnuts, wrapped in fine milk chocolate.
Senti, per fortuna che l'hai lasciato però, eh.
Cappuccini.
Almeno questo è generoso, guarda.
Il conto. Co blimey.
Baci, irresistibly Italian.
Is that the time? Oh, your hair is lovely, dear. That'll be the bridesmaids.
Come on, love. Look, I've even got your old favorites.
Delicious flakes of corn drenched in ice-cold milk. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. How could you have forgotten how good they taste?
Steve's got a lot to live up to, Dad.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes, too good to be forgotten.
Le Piador, dry white wine.
Welcome back to Croft for this BARC 1973 Formula Ford Manfrewella Championship round. This is the first round of the series. We've just seen the first session of the day completed, the qualifying for this for the heats. So we've got will be 4 cars out in heat number 1, the odd-numbered qualifiers, as you well saw. So the cars on the grid for this race are going to be David Saber, Pascal Mikula, Matthew Saboni, and Dmitry Sudrov. They will be the 4 cars out on the track for this one. So we're just waiting, I think, just for everybody to get themselves ready to go. We've got the 4 cars that are going to be competing in the server already. And then we'll be underway and racing. This will be, as we said earlier, an 11-lap race. So just waiting to see what's going to happen with this one. So as we saw, David Saber looked very, very quick in qualifying, taking the quickest lap in the dying embers of the session. Really crossed line 5 seconds to go and set a blistering time. Whether he'll repeat that form again in this heat race is a different question. It's been very, very closely fought. I think we've just gone into racing now. I think I just saw the next session pop anyway. That probably means we've gone racing. We're going to get the cars on the grid and we'll be underway in racing very, very shortly. So we've got the cars now going up on the circuit. We'll see how well we get on with this particular session. So 4 cars on the track for this one. We've got 2 of them so far on the grid. And, well, it looks like we're down to 3. I think we just had a restart because I think somebody may have just crashed. I'm not sure. But we're down to 3 in the server anyway. Whether that's what we're going to go with, I'm not entirely sure. So, just awaiting the all clear. And they'll be underway and racing. Just trying to get the information on what's happened. Yep, so Dimitri had crashed there, so that's the reason we've not gone. We're waiting for one more car to join us, and then we'll go racing with the first race of the day. So I think we've now got all 4 of them back, so give us a few minutes and we'll be hopefully underway with our first race of the season for the Formula Fords. And if qualifying is anything to go by, this should be a very, very lively race. So just getting them all gridded up there. I think we've already got cars making their way to the grid. Yep, we've got 3 of them on the grid. That's better than last time. 1 more to join us. And there we go. We've got all 4 cars on the grid. So here we go. Race number 1 of the season out to get underway. This is Heat 1, 11 laps of the track coming your way. This is the Formula Fords in their 1973 championship. So the green flag is at the ready. It's getting raised. Just waiting for the clear, and down it goes. The green flag is out, and away we go. And McCullough makes a great start. David Sabra had a terrible start on the inside there. The car bogged down. He goes from first to last in the space of, well, not even a few yards. He didn't even move. So Sabroni goes round the outside to take the early lead into turn 1. McCullough falls in second place. David Sabra making a move around the outside of Tower Bend. That's a brave move, but I think he's had to fall back into line behind these 2 and. So into third place, he's now underneath the gearbox of McCullough, who goes a bit wide. And, well, Sabra got down the inside going through the S's. And here they come towards Sunny Corner for the first time. And Sabra's, I think, just about made that move stick. He has indeed. He's not going to run wide and hit the bales. They've all avoided the hay bales, to my knowledge, unless the car at the back has come to grief. I don't think it has, though. I think we've got all 4 of them still going, which is a good start. We can't really afford to lose any because there weren't many to start with. So Mikula chucks it into the left-hander at Spa Bend. Nothing to do with any local convenience stores here, or indeed any very famous motor racing venues in Belgium. As Sabra is underneath the rear gearbox now of Sebroni's car. He's going to go through the chicane following the number 2 car. They both go a bit on the grass. Sebroni's had a bit of a moment there. There was a bit of contact, and Sabra takes the lead as they come around to complete the first lap of the race. And now Mikula is looking to go on the back of these 2 to fight for the lead. Cibrioni's going to go for a dive on the inside. They bang wheels there, and they nearly go off into the gravel, but they've survived it. And Cibrioni, with a daring move on the inside, takes back the lead. And Sabra, I don't think he's going to need asking twice to try and get a retaliation move. They go left, and they'll go right through the chicane, or the S's, I should say. Right, it's not really a chicane as such. And Sabra's round the outside, side by side, as they go round the right-hand kink at Croft, and Sabra's round the outside of Croft. Here they go. Oh, there's contact on the inside as they go round the right-hander at Sunny Corner. That was Mikula getting in the side of Cibrioni's car, and that is going to possibly damage both their cars. And Sabra's weaving down the straight, trying to break the slipstream. They're side-by-side for second, and Cibrioni round the outside at Spa Bend. This is an incredible battle at the front between these 3. We've somewhat lost the 4th place contender of Dimitri Sudrov in number 31. I do apologise again for the pronunciation of that name. Obviously, you can probably tell that Russian is not something I've really got a huge amount of knowledge in. But Sabra's been able to pull away at the front of the grid now. He's got, across that time, it said it was a 1-second gap to the 2 behind, who seem to be more content to battle amongst themselves here. He's 2 and 3 for second and third, rather ironically. And round the outside, Mikula makes a dominant move around the outside of Saboni. That was a fantastic manoeuvre on the outside of Tower Bend. And, Mikula's now going to look to chase down David Sabra. He was the closest to Sabra in the qualifying session for some distance until Ian Potter pipped him at the post in the dying embers of the session. So round they go onto the railway straight. You can tell the railway straight is actually a runway because it's got a wide runoff area to the left-hand side. Very similar to some of the straights of the Sebring circuit in America. Of course, that track will be used very shortly, of course, in real life for the 12 hours of Sebring. And off the track and into the wall goes Matthew Spurney. That's a big accident. They've got a wheel off. The nose cone's gone flying. So that's our first big crash of the season. The car just locked up going into Spa Bend, straight on and into the wall, very heavily indeed. And that, I believe, is race over in no uncertain terms for the South African. So the 1-2 are still weighing on the front. Sabre has been caught by Mikula as they come round to complete yet another lap of racing. We'll just check on the live timing how many laps we have indeed done in this particular race. So that was lap number 3 completed. Now to lap number 4 of racing out of 11. So we're still very much in the first quarter. We're still very much in the first half of this race for the Formula Fords. The main battle of interest is at the front. I'm going to see if there's going to be any change in the closing laps. So Sabra, after a poor start, has managed to gain some decent ground and pull away. After, like we say, it looked like he may have stalled on the grid in that particular situation as he went, and the 3 around him just blasted off into the distance and were never seen again. As Mikula is now seemed to have strung together a fairly competent first sector of the lap here, and he's looking to catch Sabra. That was in fact the first and second sector he's strung together very nicely. Now he's looking to have got a much better lap than Sabra this time around, which could lead him open to an attack as they go down to Tower Bend to start lap number 5. So they're making their way around the long, never-ending right-hander, which is Oxo Bend, as they go into the right-left chicane to end the lap, very similar to the chicane at the end of the lap of Goodwood, which of course is a famous circuit in the historic racing community over here in the UK, with 2 very large race meetings taking place over the course of the year. You can see the black marks on the road where the cars have been locking up. Like I say, no anti-lock brakes, as you would expect, really, because it's 1973 as far as we're concerned. They hadn't been invented yet. Volvo hadn't yet discovered them. So through the S as they go, and this is a great shot on board the, bonnet, as you would, of the number 3 car, Pascal Mikula. He's forever trying to close in the gap to Sabra at the front of the grid here. And Sabra's run a little bit wide, and I thought he was hitting the bales there. He wouldn't be the first car to do that, as we already saw one hit the bales very heavily in qualifying. Now they're coming to lap traffic here, as they've got Shudroff in front of them, so there'll be a blue flag being displayed to the 31 car in the very near future as the top to right there and about as they make their way around once again the never-ending right-hander, and Shudroff runs wide to let the leaders go through. So a bit of a good driving conduct there from the Russian, and lets the Brit and the German go through. So lap's still ticking away now. The race, despite the slight reduction in car numbers, has still been very good as we come through into number 6 now. Now they're going down to Tyre Bend. Is McKellar going to make a look on the inside? No, he's not. He backs out of that one. I don't think he was quite close enough to get through on the inside on the brakes. So, like I say, unfortunately, just the 3 left circulating now. One of them is not really in the race as such because it's a lap down on the charts. But this lead battle has been very, very good, I have to say. Proper Formula Ford racing, changing places very frequently, and some good wheel-to-wheel racing in the earlier stages of the race, particularly when we had Cibriani in the battle as well. But unfortunately, his race is coming to an end courtesy of, well, I think it was possibly driver error more than anything else, as that's only what he looked like anyway from my perspective, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of explanation behind it given later. Sabra's still holding the lead. He goes a little bit wide going into Oxo Bend there. Thought he was going to possibly leave the door open, but he came back across and stopped the car of McCullough coming through on the inside as they go through into the chicane game. Maybe a lock up there from the leader. Bit of time smoke went into there, as you very well saw. And he's got really sideways going the final bend and nearly goes for a spin. And it's going to be side by side down the pitch straight. This could be interesting at Tyre Bend as they go side by side past the commentary box. And last of the late breakers, I think it'll be. Not quite as late as some of the European Truck Racing Championship trucks that have been to the UK in the past. And, well, McCullough's now managed to make his way through to Leeds. They're going to go side by side. No, they fall single file now. I think Sabra didn't really see the point in taking a risk. There's still a few more laps left to run in this particular race. And, well, Sabra's still on the outside. He's now going to try and cut to the inside to Sunny Bend. Obviously, McCullough gets a bit sideways there as they go down the railway straight, so we very nearly had another moment of somebody hitting the wall. We're now getting a good onboard as they go side by side. You can see how close these Formula Fords can race. It helps with them not having any downforce as such, unlike their bigger brothers, the Formula Ford 2000 cars, who did have wings on them. Of course, if you are interested in that sort of stuff, don't forget the Historic Sports Car Club run a Formula Ford 2000 championship as part of our regular bill. That series goes all around the UK, of course. And now they're still tucked together as they come through the chicane. I think we just saw Pascal McCullough clip the inner wall there on the exit of the chicane. That was very lucky not to knock a wheel off the little single seater there. So we are on to lap number 8 now of racing. So we are coming through very shortly to getting the closing few laps of this one. I think it's going to be 3 laps to go this time when they come across the timing line. Now, my big question is, will they lap Shudroff for a second time in this race? I'm not sure they got up to it, and they're both got off the track, and round goes McCullough. So he's spinning out of second place, but he's a long way clear of the third place car. So he's going to hold third place, but he's gone around. The leader went off as well, but he was able to keep it just about on the straight and narrow. But we lose Pascal McCullough in a big circle going around the S's there. That was always a place where we expected cars to have problems, and it certainly seemed to be the case there. And now I think David Sabravarani, driver error or mechanical failure, has got a fairly easy win in the bag here. He's got a long way clear now of McCullough. Last timing beam said 7.3 seconds. It's been around half a second to a second all race long up until this point. So that has really thrown a curveball in the books. And that could very well have decided that race fairly early on. So, Sabra comes across the line to complete the lap. Let's see who's got the fastest lap out of curiosity. Fastest lap of the race so far, I can tell you, is a 1:17.804 set by David Sabra, as I'm sure you can imagine. And it looks like everyone else is about 2 seconds off that lap time But I think that was just a one-hit wonder lap, really, as he'd been battling with either Mikula or Cibriani in the main part of the race. And now he's just really got to bring this car home and try not to have any errors or mistakes. Easier said than done, as we saw earlier on with a couple of cars coming to grief. Question of has Mikula actually got enough laps to close up? I think he has closed a couple of tenths up on the previous lap, but I don't think it'll be enough come the checkered flag fall in this one. Like I say, this track very much a very typical British circuit. It runs along the perimeter roads of an RAF base, as I said in the introduction to the programme, that most of the tracks in the UK are abandoned RAF bases that were used in the war. The likes of Silverstone fall into that category as well. There are a few permanent built circuits in the UK, namely Rockingham, which is now no more, sadly. It was sadly closed at the end of 2018. And that was part of the answer. Its financial problems. Obviously, the stadium was a brilliant place for motor racing, but it just couldn't earn its keep. It did see some success with one date for kart in the early 2000s. That's as far as it ever went. As they make their way, well, the leader anyway makes his way into the final sector into Tower Bend. The car we're looking at now is Pascal Mikula coming round onto the railway straight through Sunny. And he's just playing catch-up. He's got the gap down to 6.1 seconds now to David Sabra. I suspect Sabra may have backed off just to basically make sure he doesn't have any problems and fall off the road. And Mikula's very nearly fallen off the road, as I say that. Got completely broadside through Spa Bend. So we're just waiting to see what's going to happen. The laps are certainly ticking down now. The laps are going fairly quickly. So we're coming through on 2. Well, this is going to be the timing line now to complete lap 10. So as far as I'm aware, this is the last lap now. Yep, so the final lap of the race is upon us. And it will be David Sabra, who is looking largely in charge at the moment. He gets his way round Tower Bend for the final time. Mikula, you can see just in the background there. He's coming out of Tower Bend as the leader goes into the S's. So the gap has come down. They're going to lap, possibly, Dimitri Sudrov for the second time in this race. Whether David Sabra will back off and let him complete the lap, I don't know. Whether the racing driver instincts will just take over and he overtakes him. No, I think maybe the 31 car is deciding on his own terms. He doesn't want to do the lap on his own, which I can completely understand. So Sabra into the final complex of the race. He's just got to hold on for 2 or 3 more corners. Mikula is there. He's right on the attack now. You can really see that car dancing. But I think it's too little too late for the German. It looks like the British are going to take the first win of the Formula Ford season on home turf. So right, then we'll go left. And then there should be a checkered flag in the peripheral vision of the drivers. So across the timing line now for the final time. And David Sabra has taken the checkered flag. He wins Heat 1 of the day for the Formula Fords. Mikula will be second place. And it's going to be Sudrov through into third place. And there's no other finishes on that one. So that rounds out Heat 1 of the day for the Formula Fords. The results will be confirmed to officially very, very shortly once we've just checked through everything and we know who is where. So that will do it. Formula Ford Heat 1 over and done with. We'll get the results to you as well very shortly, but I don't think there's much to go through. Lap scorer's nightmare, that race. 3 cars to have to keep track of. So, good win there for David Sabra. Just sort of kept his head while all around lost theirs as he saw 2 cars around him go off in fairly spectacular fashion. But the results are as follows then. We've got them very quickly to hand, as you would imagine. So, first was David Sabra in 83. Second, Pascal Mikula in number 3. And third was Dmitry Sudrov in 31. So once again, just numbers for you. First, 83. Second, number 3. And third, 31. Fastest lap of the race was a 1:16.313 by my reckoning. But like I say, that could be wrong depending on how quickly the live timing has been updated. But that's race 1 done and dusted. We'll be back very shortly after the break with Heat 2 for the Formula Fords.
Sometimes you're just not yourself. Oasis contains no gas or fizz, but its combination of real fruit juice and pure natural spring water gets you back to your old self.
Who taught you to drive, you wally? Cheers, mate. Oh, my shoulders, I tell you, they're giving me chips. Steve!
Oasis, open port, be yourself once more.
Just help yourself to John Smith's, to its charm. Just say the word and it is yours. Just help yourself to the flavor in his heart. Your lips can open up the door.
There's something completely new in the pub. John Smith's Extra Smooth Bitter. Pure silk in a glass. So, you still don't need gimmicks.
When there's no getting over that rainbow, when the smallest of dreams won't come true, I can't take all the madness the world has to give, but I won't last a day without you.
That's better. That's deadly.
Have a break. Millions of Kit Kats with this special wrapper win you a free Burger King burger instantly, or let you buy one and get one free. Have a bigger break. Have a Kit Kat.
Bachelor's Cuppa Soup granules dissolve completely, so even if your film has an extremely sloppy ending, your Cuppa Soup won't.
Psst, Mums! Let's set the record straight about Kellogg's Rice Krispies.
Okay.
They're not just empty puffs of air.
No way!
Each one is made with a single grain of rice and have vitamin D, which helps build
bones
and teeth. They're not too sweet. Sounds good. Someone's coming. And you thought Kellogg's Rice Krispies would just snap, crackle and pop.
When you're tempted by something particularly tasty, a wee small voice usually says,
Naughty?
Well, McVitie's have had a brilliant new idea. Using all their baking know-how, they've come up with an altogether healthier approach. Go ahead. Baked corn and potato chips, fruity things, biscuits, fruit chocolate and cheesecakes, up to 97% fat-free. So go ahead with McVitie's.
You have to go a long, long way to bake a better biscuit.
Between us guys, you eat Skittles, you expect a hit, right? Lenny and Larry juiced the first two with real juice. One tried to hide. Guess he didn't figure on Ollie and Sally. The undercurrents had the last word.
You'll never wear one of ours, Benny.
New Scepter Center Skittles. Real fruit for a real hit.
New in '96, introducing the spacious three-door family runabout. Also, from McDonald's, this double hamburger for only 89 pence and this double cheeseburger for only 99 pence. But what did the ordinary public think? So there you have it. The new McDoubles from McDonald's. 8.5 grand less expensive than a 2-litre hatchback with alloy wheels. Ooh, and a sight tastier, too.
And welcome back once again to Croft Motor Racing Circuit for round number 1 of the Formula 4 1973 Championship. So, Heat 2 will be on track very shortly, but we are going to be, first of all, introducing Pascal McCullough to the commentary box for this one, who was out in that previous race and finished home in second. So, good evening to you, Pascal.
Good evening, Ben. Good evening, everyone watching this on the YouTubes.
So we're just getting the cars ready to go for the second race of the day. So these are the even-numbered qualifiers. So we haven't got, obviously, the quickest cars we haven't got the quickest car from qualifying this one. That was out in the first race. So the poleman for this one should be Owen Potter in number 28. He came across the line in qualifying in second place with a very late quick lap in the closing stages of the session. And we'll see how well he gets on, as he was always very handy with these machines at VCRO when we used to run them there. And it doesn't seem he's lost the touch for them at all.
Oh no, I have to say, I was kind of surprised that when Owen got me for second place in qualifying. But I mean, as you said it already, VCRL ran those cars even though they were all the Lolas back then. So he's got a taste for them. He's not the only one with a taste for them. I mean, we had David Saber in the first heat, and just to delve into a small little feature about David Saber, anything you see on the screen right now, the cars and the track, yeah, David Saber made that. He's the author of the Formula Ford 1973 mod, as there's Joe Gillett having a bit of a spin moment. Let's hope he doesn't have that during the race. It could cost him dearly. And the track itself, the Croft racing circuit in that first layout, or not actually the first, it was the second layout ever used. That's an original Grand Prix Legends track as well, made by David Saber, all the way back in 2001. I mean, you can see it. The conversion work to R Factor has been done by yours truly, and it's not perfect, but it gets the job done. So yeah, I must say, I personally feel very honored to have David Saber racing with us, and I think he's obviously shown his worth with these cars in the first heat by winning.
Very much so. He was very, very quick, as we saw in qualifying. He was he was running second in the first half of the session, then suddenly found another gear in the second half and went to the top of the timing sheets. I mean, we've also got out in this one. Who's the other car that I've missed out off my entry list here? Joe Gillett, number 57. He's had some success here in the past, as was very kindly pointed out to me during qualifying, that of course he is the if you just find the name of it again now, the Gold Star champion, which I believe was with the various much high-powered cars last season. So maybe he should be one to look out for, but he did look a little bit off pace in qualifying earlier on.
Well, you can never count out Joe. As you pointed out correctly, he won the CMH Gold Star last year, which now this year is called the Masters Trophy. But yeah, we had a Formula Ford race last year in the Gold Star as well, which Joe did, I think he won that, or at least he did well in it. I know he did well in it. So he seems to remember those cars, although he hasn't been doing that well in qualifying. That shouldn't matter too much, since it's the race result that counts.
Very much so. And another thing that could be pointed out is, do you think any of the drivers that did well in the Formula 5000 cars last year will, sort of translate the driving style from them into these, perhaps, as they are, single-seater cars possibly on some of the tracks that we're going to see here, as they are from a similar period, and they did follow a similar calendar?
Well, you have to remember that these Formula Ford cars are... You have about a fifth of the power of the Formula 5000. Let's just call it that. And it looks like Owen Potter found the Easter egg I put in the track. You have 100 horsepower compared to 500, and looks like we have one car in the pits taking a pit lane start. That's Simon Witt, Joe Gillett, and Owen Potter on the grid. Oh no, here we go. The green flag drops. Let's go.
So away they go. And Owen Potter gets the jump down towards Tower Bend for the first time. Simon Witt, after a very last-minute arrival on the grid, has managed to slide to second place as Joe Gillett gets shuffled to the back of the grid in the early stages. They make their way round Tower for the first time, and Potter's managed to gain a fairly healthy lead as they come to the S's for the first time. And I think Witt has managed to pull a gap away from Gillett. He's in fact closing in on the race leader in Potter. So the initial slightly bogged down start from Witt. Doesn't seem to have held him back anyone. He seems to be looking for the inside line as they go into the right-hander at the at Sunny Corner. Down the railway straight they go, and Witt's well and truly in the slipstream here as they head down towards the final complex as they enter Spa Corner.
And Owen Potter's got the lead. Joe Gillett takes an interesting line through Spa Corner. Sorry about that. Through Spa Corner. Simon Witt, I must say, has been impressing. He's been impressive the whole year so far. I mean, we're only in March, but he's taken 2 pole positions in the SCCA Trans Am Championship, and he goes wide and sideways. Barely misses the wall there. Yeah, he's taken both pole positions available so far for the SCCA Trans Am Championship in his Dodge Challenger number 76, and it looks like his number 32 car, the Dulon MP15 he's got, seems to be fitting him quite well because he's fighting Owen Potter for the lead.
Yes, and as we said earlier during that warm-up session, that Potter is a very accomplished racer in the Formula Ford category. Of course, you wouldn't expect somebody who does well in a Trans Am car to do the same in a Formula 4 car. They're very different beasts of driving. In fact, you may be looking down the inside as they come to the railway straight. Potter's on the outside, and Witt's on the inside. Oh, they nearly touch the side-by-side on the railway straight. This is very close racing level. Pegging, in fact. That just shows how close these cars are. You can see some of the mechanics working in the back.
There comes the left-hand corner, and Owen's got the inside. Oh, careful there. He almost loses it. Where's Joe? Joe is right behind him still. Well,
he's outside now.
Oh, he's in second place now.
Well, that's all chopped and changed very quickly as everything went a bit back to front there as well. Simon Witt was fighting for the lead a few moments ago. He's now at the back of the grid and has to withstand some tyre smoke from Joe Gillett, who's slowing out the chicane. And now this will be interesting as Witt's got the run down the main straight down towards Tab, and he's on the outside line though. Don't know whether that's going to help him or not really, as this could be interesting to see if Joe Gillett can throw it back down the inside. The answer to that question is yes, he can in fact, and well, he's now parked the bus well and truly on the corner exit, so Witt can't retaliate.
And that's slowing both of them down actually. I mean, you remember, these are qualifier heats. Yeah, come on, keep it straight. There you go, mate. These are qualifier heats, so your finishing position doesn't matter. It doesn't, it doesn't matter at all. Your finishing time matters, and if you slow each other down, you may just drop down the grid a little bit. And we were talking earlier about the driving style of these cars. Believe me, the Formula 5000s, they did not go that sideways. And if they did, you could not catch them. So these things, they're a different kettle of fish. I mean, you only have 100 horsepower, but believe me, your hands are going to be busy when you drive those things. As can be seen, Owen Potter now with a 0.3 second lead over Joe Gillett. And looks like, yep, he's locking up his brake.
Well, the horse survived just about. That was a bit close, but Witt managed to now get himself through into second. No, he's not. He's had to fall back in behind Joe Gillett. But going back to how difficult these cars are to drive, that was a prime example of that. The rear wheels locked up and they weren't stopping. And once again, Witt throws it sideways, and he's gone. He's spun in front of Joe Gillett. They hit each other head on crash, and they're both gone. And they've both lost the nose cones, and Owen Potter's going to run away and says thanks for Rich Fledson, takes the lead. So, all chop and change at Tower Bend, and well, that's going to favour Potter massively, and these two could be at the back of the grid now.
I just looked at Simon Witt's car on another camera. He actually hasn't lost any. Look at that! Oh, he is fired up. As you can see, he didn't lose his nose cone, only Joe did, but you mentioned earlier, these cars don't produce any downforce, really. They don't have wings or anything. Losing your nose cone doesn't really do anything. All it does is increase your drag a little bit, makes it a little bit slower on the straights. Well, whatever. These things go 180 kilometers an hour anyway. Doesn't matter too much.
No,
but,
very much.
Of course, yeah, Owen has a big lead now, so.
But looking at the timing screen, we've got, I think we've now got 4 laps in the books when we come round this time. So we're going to lap number 5, so we're getting very, very close to the halfway stage of this one. And here's Joe Gillett in the Formula Ford Superleggera with the nose cone missing, bit of weight reduction there. As well, we'll see if Witt can catch him, but I think Owen Potter is a bit too far gone now to be caught. unless he has any problems as well, as Gillett's using all the track and a little bit more down there at Tower Bend. But thankfully this time he didn't have a spinning car in front of him. But he is quite ironic how Simon Witt caused that collision, but he came out of it with no damage at all, but he did lose a position. So that was a
he's on the grass. He got on the grass a bit.
Well, he's recovered it just about by the looks of it. And, Joe Gillett locks up there and he nearly went off. In fact, he has gone off in exactly the same place as he did in practice.
He's still on the track. I think that cements the Wait, is his car crooked, maybe?
It looks like that collision of the bale may have knocked the car out of alignment a little bit.
Let's have a look. I think we have a replay. We can have a look at the replay, possibly.
It would be helpful to see what happened there. And well,
he didn't even hit anything. He didn't even hit anything.
Well, I think he just got one wheel on the grass. No, in fact, it just went. Maybe he was watching Joe Gillett go off and then took himself out doing that. So that looked completely self-inflicted there, I have to be honest. So we go back to live action now, and we see Simon Witt throwing the car sideways some more.
Wow!
I think he needs to enter the British Drift Championship more than Formula Ford at this point with that manoeuvre. That was fantastic stuff.
Amazing. We are actually on lap 5 right now.
So that means we are going to be halfway this time by, if you want to count halfway through an odd number of laps. But here's Joe Gillett, still circulating. He's 7.7 seconds back on Potter from the previous timing beam that they crossed. Oh dear, there's nearly some bales getting involved once again there. Those bales are absolute killers on the outside of Sunny Bend. That was really very, very scary. But obviously back in the 70s, health and safety wasn't what it is now. But in real life, the bales would also move. In here, they don't.
Let's have a quick look at the lap times. I mean, of course, last lap you really cannot count because 2 of the 3 cars spun out. But Owen Potter looks like he is clearly the quickest. He just put in a fastest lap of the race, 1:17.028. Meanwhile, Joe Gillett and Simon Witt, Joe did a 1:17.301, so he's not catching up to Owen anytime soon.
I think Witt's just had some problems there because he's running a bit slowly, but he's got back to speed now, so maybe he spun there, just had a camera shot.
Let's have a look what he just did as a lap time. That was a 24.6, so he lost
more. Yeah, around he goes into the wall.
Ay. Oh, and he hit it broadside on as well. Oof. Ow. Okay, yeah, that can't have done any good to do. Although he hit it with the side. Well, you really can't call it side pod, but the piece of bodywork between the wheels.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, he sort of hit the monocoque of the car more than anything else. I think he managed to keep the axles and the wheels fairly safe. I say that as he takes them off on a different piece of track furniture this time. So I think it's fair to say Simon Witt's race is going from bad to somehow possibly worse. I don't think it could get any worse for him at this point, really, unless he crashes out completely at this stage. But at least he's giving us some good entertainment with some drifting, as we see a bit of an example of that there. Not quite as impressive on through the chicane a couple laps ago.
Owen just had a bad time. I'm sorry to interrupt. Owen just had a horrible lap. Joe just did his personal best. He's now up to 5.9 seconds behind him. He's catching.
So maybe Part had an off. It's not unheard for Part to go off. He's been leading many a touring car race and binned it in the gravel on his own accord, which has always been very entertaining to look at. But he seems to be holding his own at the moment. Well, commentator's curse. Sorry, Owen. First one of the season. Thank me later. Well, that's the lead battle back on again, as it turns out, as Joe Gillett is now underneath the gearbox of Owen Potter's car. He must have been listening to me then. So as they come into the left-hander at Spa Bend, and, well, the lead battle is on track. I'm not sure where Joe Gillett was going, because the track was about 50 feet over to the right, but we'll gloss over that bit. So the lead battle is well and truly back on now. I'm just going to check how many laps left to run in this race, because there can't be many to go.
We are on lap 7.
Lap 7, so we're going to come
coming up to lap 8.
Yes, we're going to come to lap 8 this time around. So I think I think actually the timing is displaying a different unit measurement. So this might actually be lap 8 completed, and now onto lap 9.
We are now on lap 8.
Okay.
We are now on lap
Right.
8.
We'll see what we get at the end.
Not a personal best for Joe, 117.1.
Okay, so
fight is on. 1 second gap. Let's go.
I think Joe's obviously smelt blood here with Potter making a couple of mistakes.
I mean, he's missing his
charge.
nose, so I'm surprised he's smelling anything. Joe is.
Fair point, but we'll. That's another story for another day, I guess. But it looks like Potter's starting to feel the pressure now. I think the gap is down to understanding. Yeah, 0.7 that time bypassed. I think it was the Sector 2 split beam. As they come into the left-hander at Spa Bend. Is he closer to make a move? No, he's not. He keeps on the track this time, at least. Into the right-hander. And Potter is running a bit... Whoa, he's got a right. Opposite lock moment on that was very, very close to going around. But these Formula Fords seem to be a bit more forgiving to save than some of the other cars that could have been used. They go through the chicane and Gillett is there. You can see the head movement from the model inside the car, just showing how much head movement normally goes on in a racing car. As they make their way now down into Tower Bend for the first time. For the next time around, sorry, the first time was about 5 laps ago. So
he took a very tight entry. Very tight entry there for Joe. It's interesting to look at the difference in lines between the two. Owen is taking a more conventional kind of line, where you just go in from the outside, hit the apex, and then exit on the outside, and that's Simonwitt. Simonwitt's out. He's done.
So
here's Owen. Oh, yeah, that's a crash.
I think he must have run wide there and clobbered the hay bales. Like I say, he's not the first car to, because we saw one do that in practice earlier, right? We're qualifying earlier on, in fact. I think it was Sibiani that went in there and once again a pretty butcher finish. Gillett's taken the lead in the meantime. I've been working on my pronunciations, and Potter's got the cut back on the inside. He's side by side to the chicane. Surely, boys, you can't go too wide there. Someone's going to have to back out. Nobody wants to back out. Gillett runs wide and Potter's through. And now down the pit straight, and we've got Gillett looking right up against the pit wall. He even just pinned the pit wall there for a moment, and he's got through. He's got the slingshot and takes the lead.
That's what that rate reduction does to you. That's what that rate reduction does. He's missing his nose. Doesn't weigh as much, so he can go faster. That's bro physics.
So it looks like Gillett has now got the lead. Potter.
Oh, Owen has some issue. He's slowing down.
Yes.
Oh,
not good.
Hold on.
Is he running out of fuel?
He's out of fuel. His engine is turned off.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So Owen Potter out of fuel. So he's out of the race unless he can limp it back home. He's got Witt's out of it. He's guaranteed second place, but he's not really behind the grid.
He really can't limp home anywhere. His engine is just off. He's got no power. Absolutely zero power. And that means Joe is going to win that one.
What's the ruling on cutting a hole in the bottom of your car and flintstoning it back to the line? Is that allowed?
I haven't seen anything that doesn't. I haven't seen anything that forbids it.
Well, it'd be a new source of power anyway. But I think Joe Gillett, despite having a crash in the early stages, I think is going to get a win. Well, I don't think he's going to get a win. I know he's going to get a win now.
Well, there's a lap to go. So final lap now from Joe Gillett.
No, the Joe flag's in fact gone out on him. So Joe Gillett is the winner.
So
and there's nobody else to mention the finishing order.
So I've been wrong the whole time.
Yeah, I was looking at the live timing on the previous run. So I think we can give you a result of that one fairly quickly if you want. Race winner was 57 Joe Gillett. And numbers once again for you, first 57, and that's it. There's nobody else left to mention. So that's probably the least amount of cars I've ever seen finish a race in R-Factor, and that includes banger racing as well. So that's quite impressive. So that rounds out the second heat of the day for the Formula Ford. So we'll get the final gridded up in the very near future. There'll be a bit of a break while we get that sorted. We'll get the results put into the chat as well, so we can get the results worked out and who's where.
Actually, let me have a look before we go to break, because we're going to have the... let me just restart the server, and then we'll have a result sometime. Let me have a
well,
look. Yes, the race is already finished and official. So, pole position for the final will go to David Saber. Yours truly will have second place. Third place will go to Third place will go to Joe Gillett. Fourth place will go to Owen Potter. Fifth place will go to Dmitry Shutrov. And sixth place, Simon Witt. And rounding out the field, because he crashed on lap 2 of the first heat, rounding out the field will be Matthew Sibanioni. With that being said, we'll be right back after this and a message from your stations.
You, Grim Wriggler!
Make a break for it with new Milky Way crispy rolls. A creamy white middle inside a crispy wafer covered in excellent Milky Way chocolate. You can even share one with your little sister. No, make a break for it with new Milky Way crispy rolls.
We come in peace. We come to drink your brains.
Brains, S.A. A frighteningly good pint.
Low C, a full-strength beer. It can help slimming or weight control only as part of a controlled diet. What?
My heart goes out to the delicious mac and noodles. You'll like to leave that water. You cook them in 3 minutes. So everything dish.
Carling Premier. In a world that's losing its head, a lager that doesn't.
Whose idea was this, anyway? It's supposed to be a guys and chicks party.
I thought you said it was cocks and hens.
Yes, I know what you are, thank you.
Oh, that's nice. It's more,
We're not all going as chickens, are we?
Apart from the odd turkey.
Where's the girlfriend?
Oh, she chickened out. No, that's nice. It's more,
That's what I said.
That's changed, hasn't it? So?
more...
That's more,
It is, isn't it?
more,
If your bacon cheeseburger isn't flame broiled, fire it.
Welcome to Burger King.
And get a new flame broiled
Bacon Mega Supreme?
The new Bacon Mega Supreme is a third pound of beef broiled over an open flame. And flame broiling beats frying 4-to-1. 2 patties smothered in hot, crispy bacon, melted cheese, lettuce, and tomato. So if it's fried, it ought to be fired. Get the new flame broiled Bacon Mega Supreme. More great taste for more great value. Only at Burger King.
NBC's Sunday Night Movie will return following these messages.
And now the Martin Short press conference continues.
Yes. Thank you. What's a tall drink of water like you doing with a name like Short?
That's good.
Any other questions?
Martin Short is coming to NBC Tuesdays this fall.
We all know granola's great tasting, but there's another side to it. Fat. But Kellogg's low-fat granola has half the fat and all those big clumps of great taste. Kellogg's low-fat granola. For today's granola fans, great taste, half the fat.
94. The concert you've waited your whole life for.
To fight gum disease, Colgate Precision has 3 sets of bristles. One like a flat brush for the surface, another like a rippled brush to reach between, and a third designed like nothing else to sweep plaque from the gum line. Fighting gum disease takes precision.
The more you think about what getting an education gets you and what you miss getting hooked, the more you know that you really have no choice. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can do school or you can do drugs, but you really can't do both. Now, if you choose school, you get to go as far as your talents will take you. But if you choose drugs, you get to go nowhere and maybe get AIDS, get busted, even get killed in the bargain. So, you ask me, why didn't I say that in the first place? Why did I have to say it at all?
This advanced technology helps to diagnose arthritis. But to effectively relieve the minor pain of arthritis, use this, Advil. Advil contains the #1 doctor-prescribed ingredient in its class in non-prescription strength. Advil provides fast relief, and it works directly at the site of arthritis pain. And Advil is gentler on your stomach than aspirin. So for minor arthritis pain, trust Advil. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
This month you can go to McDonald's to check out the world's coolest cars. Not those cars, these cars. Or meet a bunch of cool new friends. Not those friends, these friends. Now kids can choose between a hip, hot, cool Barbie and Friends miniature with stylable hair or a tire-squealing, pavement-peeling new Hot Wheels car. One with each $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal you buy your kids. 8 of each to collect. Only at McDonald's. Not those McDonald's. This McDonald's. You've made many friends on Thursday night. Now, meet Rachel.
It's like all of my life, everyone has always told me, you're a shoe, you're a shoe, you're a shoe, you're a shoe. What if I don't want to be a shoe? What if I want to be a purse, you know, or a hat? No, I don't want you to buy me a hat. I'm saying that I am a hat. It's a metaphor, Daddy.
You can see where you'd have trouble.
Friends, Thursdays this fall on NBC. This week, TV Nation buys a royal title. On your knees, buddy. Will the Brits accept their new lord?
This card's good for 1 free drink.
TV Nation, NBC Tuesday.
All right. And welcome back to Croft for the final race of the first meeting of the 1973 BARC Well for Man Formula Ford National Championship. I'll be signing off for the stream. And leave Ben to it, because we're about to go to the final race. It will be 20 laps, everyone will be on the grid, and the grid will be set from the final results of the qualifier heats we just saw before this break.
Thank you very much, Pascal. So, you've got my terrible voice back once again. So, after that rather entertaining set of heats, should we say, with some interesting moments scattering across the both of them. We're back with the final. So, as already mentioned, the way this final will be formed up is obviously the collective race time of each car. And obviously, if cars didn't finish, they'll be slotted in the back, depending on how far they got. So, we've just had Owen Potter comment on the Discord saying that last time we had the touring cars here at Croft in the 1995 spec, you ran out of fuel in them as well. So I think, as he says, it's something about this track. So we're now going to get ready to go. I'm just waiting for everything to be set and ready to go. We've got all 7 cars back out, so that's good. So we've got the biggest grid of the night so far, but I think, to be honest, going off the heats, we didn't really need this many of them to make a good race, because we got a perfectly good race out of 3 or 4 of them. But so we're just waiting for everybody to get themselves sorted and on track. And once everyone is on track, we will get underway. So this will be a longer race, of course, as already mentioned. It's going to be nearly twice as long as the heats. But while I've got a bit of downtime, don't forget the Formula Ford season is far from over. It's only just beginning, really. We've got a massive calendar ahead of us for them. 13 rounds of this particular series. And we'll try and get for you the next event for these beautiful machines. The next outing for them will be in 2 weeks' time on the 31st of March. So see, dice, that one will be the Alton Park circuit in Cheshire for that one. We've got a couple of 7-lap heats and a 13-lap final for that particular meeting. as we're still waiting for cars to get on the grid for this one. And then following that will be April the 14th, will be at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, a much shorter track, only 1.2 miles in length, that one. So you're going to see some rather large amount of laps, 16 lap heats and a 28 lap final. Don't forget, the Formula 4 will be back here at Croft in a few months' time on July 28th, just before our summer break for this particular series. And the season finale will be on October 27th at Thruxton, which should be a very, very lively track for Formula Ford, as it's very, very fast and very, very wide for these particular cars. But that said, this Croft circuit ain't too bad for speed either, as there's not a huge amount of heavy braking zones for these Formula Fords to deal with. The heats have been somewhat of a mixed bag. We've certainly seen, I feel, one of the quickest cars go on pole position, but I think that Owen Potter is a little bit out of place in this race, as he was destined for a good result in that one until a spin and then some fuel problems let him down in that particular race. But the grid is set. We've got the top two from Heat 1 together, David Sabra and Pascal Mikula on the front row, and this is going to be 20 laps of the track. It's time for tonight's Formula Ford Grand Final. So just waiting for the start marshal to get ready with the green flag in hand. Okay, green flag runs around the grid. It's going up in the air. And it's down. Away we go. Formula Ford. Final time. Away we go. And Pascal Mikula's got a great start, but David Sabra's alongside. Potter's coming around the outside as well. But are they all going to get around the first bend is the main question, I wonder. Going into first bend, are they going to get round the three wide of the middle pack? They're still side by side for the race lead. Mikula on the outside, Sabra's on the inside, and Sabra's got the jump and takes the lead in the early stages. Mikula is there. He's saying Potter's found a way through into third, as we suspected he might do. And one going off in the background. Somebody's gone spinning, not quite, as that was our Russian friend going off there. So it looks like we've got David Sabra away in the lead. Mikula's running second. Are they going to get round Sunny Corner? That's been a big choking point for a number of these drivers so far in today's meeting. Got a bit of tie smoke in the background, so I wonder if somebody's had a spin. It wouldn't surprise me, as they make their way round the left-hander at Spa Corner into the final bend at Oxo Bend, which of course is the sponsor of that bend. Of course, Oxo very famous for making the gravy granules that you put in your various pieces of cooking. Promotional material done. Back to the racing. And Potter's closed up to the top two. Meanwhile, the top three have had a bit of a breakaway, really, from Matthew Sibioni down there in fourth, which sounds very similar to a certain catchphrase from the Danger Mouse cartoons from many years ago. As it looks like Mikula's got some intense pressure here from Potter. So it wouldn't be the first time it's been Britain versus Germany as they come out of the first bend. Oh, Potter's running a bit wide into the grass. I think the leader also went a bit wide there of David Sabra. Simon Witt is fifth. Joe Gillett is sixth. Of course, so Joe Gillett won the second heat, and Sabra's having a bit of rallycross there as they came out of the S's. That corner has also been catching out a few comers and goers as they go round the right-hander at Sunny Corner. And Potter is really putting the hammer down now, trying to make up for that slightly fraught heat number two, should we say, where the car ran out of fuel. The top two starting to break away, though. Mikula and Sabra together. Sibioni's going off in the same place as Heat 1. Has he gone off again? He has, in exactly the same place. Goodness gracious me. So, Sibioni has gone for the second race in a row in exactly the same place in exactly the same way. You couldn't write it. That was absolutely devastating for him. So, your leader is David Sabra still in car 57. Joe Gillett is chasing down Simon Witt. This is for now the fifth position with the demise of the South African. So,
I hate to be interrupting again, especially while I'm driving, but I just had to tell you this. The first two cars, Sabre and myself, we just did identical lap times.
Well, there you go. That's something you don't get at Silverstone anymore. In-car commentary. So they come around to complete, another lap in the meantime, while all that excitement's been going on. As you just heard, the top two both at identical lap times, which is very, very unusual indeed, and Potter playing it even more risky with the bales every lap. He's getting closer and closer, and hopefully he can go close to some of the others have got earlier on in the day. So, the top three are weighing on the front. It's still at the moment Simon Witt in 4th place. So the Polish driver running well. Like I say, got drivers from across Europe here today, indeed across Africa as well, as you've already seen. So Sabra and McCula starting for the lead. If they're certainly identical lap times, they won't be closing in on each other, but they won't be pulling away. Sparks flying. There's McCula, and Potter nearly puts himself in the tyre barrier, the wooden planks. Tyre barriers hadn't really been discovered by this point by the looks of it. McCula and Sabra still together for the lead. And it looks like McCula is just getting a little bit closer in the final sector, but in the first 2 sectors, I think Sabra's got the edge. They go left and they go right through the S's. And these two seem to be the main focus. Potter lost a lot of time on that lap as he ran off the track a tad on the chicane, which obviously is... he's gone again, and I think we've just lost Potter in a circle. Well, he's had a rather spectacular lock-up and gone down the straight completely broadside. So I don't think Owen Potter's day is getting any better. And Sabra has now got McCula tucked right underneath the gearbox as they come into Spa. No stranded cars this time around. That has also been a corner causing many a problem so far today. What's been quite amazing is I thought the chicane was going to cause a problem today, but there's been very little drama at the chicane, in the words of David Anderson. And McCula is tucked underneath the back of Sabra. This could be the drama we were looking for at the chicane there. No, not this time. And Sabra holds the lead. But McCula is there or there. So let's just see what the split time says this time round. 2 cents of a second is the split time that time around. As they come down into tyre bend. And this time McCula's got out the slipstream. Is he going to get down the inside of the 83 car? No, he's not going to. The door is slammed in his face. And Sabra says, no, you don't, sunshine. And decides he's going around the outside. So McCula's going to try again the S's. And Potter, if he just keeps on the road, could pick up the pieces if these two happen to have a coming together. Coming to lap Shudra, who's at the back of the grid in this one once again, but at least he's trying, and he's guaranteed points. He finishes the top 6 score points in this race. Plus, one thing I forgot to mention as well, there's 2 points fastest lap as Shudra pulls out of the way on the back straight on the railway straight in the side-by-side to the lead. And it's going to be Sabra on the inside at Spa. McCula's going to go around the outside of him, is he? Yes, he is. What a manoeuvre around the outside, but he's going to probably run wide. Yes, he is. And Sabra's back to the inside, side-by-side, as they come back to the chicane. So this is... and McCula's gone again. He's spun. Goodness me, he's gone round. Good 360. That was fantastic. So bonus points maybe for style on that one, but not for championship points. And now Potter has now got the sights set firmly on Pascal McCula, who just lost it. He's nearly gone again. So McCula has had the same problem in both his races today, much like Sibioni had as well in both his races. And now, once again, David Sabra can run away at the front in very much a rinse and repeat of heat number 1. So they come round Tower Bend. The excitement from now is a little bit down, but that's probably not a bad thing after the excitement of the lead battle coming well apart. Potter is there running in the 3rd position, looking to see if he can capitalise on McCula's mishap on the previous circulation of the circuit. Simon Witt is still there lurking in 4th place, but he's 9 seconds away from the leader, so he's about 5 seconds adrift of this 2nd place battle that is starting to form up. He's brewing a little bit more now. We'll see if McCula can hold on. Potter chucks it in there, seems to get a bit more corner speed than McCula that time by, as they come down to the final chicane. Gillett is running 5th place. Shudra is still there running in 6th, as we've already seen. Sibioni has gone after he had a few problems earlier on in the race with that Spa corner, which has claimed him not once but twice tonight. But it's looking fairly solidly secured for David Sabra. Just going to check what lap he's on. Just double checking the lap charts. We're on to lap number 7 at the moment, so we are coming through very shortly to go into the halfway stage. McCuller's managed to pull away from Potter once again as they go around the backside of the circuit into Sunny Corner, around the tight right-hander, which, as we've seen, has chucked cars out wide into the hay bales on a few occasions today. And like I say, saw an absolutely humongous accident in qualifying at that corner as well. And we've already seen a couple other cars have issues as well down there. And it looks like the top three are staying as they are for the time being. Potter, of course, a multi-champion of VCRL in the British touring cars. Very much a tin-top racer is Owen sometimes. And obviously seems to have got the touch for the single-seater Formula 4 display. Runs a bit wide there, but it's no biggie because McCullough did the same. I think McCullough got a bit sideways. He's actually lost time to Potter, despite Potter making a very similar bit of an error down there at the chicane. They're now actually been caught by Simon Witt, who's coming a bit further forwards now. He's got Joe Gillett only 4 seconds back from him, so give it some time. Maybe the fourth place battle could be of some interest in the later part of the race. And Potter is really tucked underneath the back of McCullough now. This could be interesting as these two were fighting in qualifying for the second position for much of the session. And they've not had a chance to have a match with each other on track yet tonight in racing situations. And now this could be interesting. Potter's looking for the outside of McCullough. Now, I've already seen McCullough make that mistake of going wide and clipping the grass. Potter's not going to fall foul on that one, is he? No, not this time around. He's not anyway. But will that chicane catch Potter again? And Potter's locked him a little bit there, but he's still closed right up to McCullough. Potter runs a bit wide onto the grass. He's got a bit of a snake on, but he's kept it just about. David Sabra has, sort of disappeared in the distance. He doesn't know what he's missing, to be brutally honest, because this is a great battle behind him, but he's not part of it, so he's probably not having the most entertaining of races, but he is winning. I think he's probably more bothered about the points at this point in time, literally. So, McCullough pulled away from Potter in the final sector of that lap, and will now look to pull away once again. This lap, and Potter's got off the road, back on it again. So, a bit more rallycross going out of the S's down towards Barncroft, as they make their way down the railway straight again. So the race keeps hotting up, then cooling down again. It's one of these races that is part way through trying to ignite itself, but it doesn't quite get there. So whether we'll see that happen later on in the day, I don't know. But we are coming round to start lap number 10 this time as McCullough throws it sideways. So it's halfway this time by for your race leader, David Sabra, car 57, winner of heat number 1. After Pascal McCullough had a spin. Oh, and Shoedraws put it in the barrier on the exit of the chicane. That's an unusual place to have an incident, but he's out of the way of the leaders at least, so he didn't take one of them with him. Now, David Sabra's lead has been brought down to 2.7 seconds now, so that probably means that maybe he's had a moment somewhere that we've not seen on the cameras. But the lead battle could be back on again. It's been off for a few laps, and somebody's found the remote control. So back on, and Potter's off the track again in the same place he was last time around. So, he's on to us. He's round, and round goes Potter. Round he goes. Dearie me, off goes the British-based driver. And, well, once again, Potter goes around. So, well, that's something that Simon Witt wanted to see in the 32 car. And now Potter's got to do all the hard work to catch McCullough once again. McCullough is chasing down Sabra. He's closed the gap by, I think, another tenth of a second. I could just work out if that's an 8 or a 6 on the pixelated timing screen. As they come round to start yet another lap. Coming through to start lap number 11 this time around, and McCullough's gone sideways. Nearly finds Shoedraw's favourite part of the barrier down at the chicane, but it wasn't to be. So we've just got the 6 cars left. The field is spread out nicely around the circuit now. And the leader's got off the track a little bit there. Has Sabra chucked it away, I wonder? He hasn't. He's kept it on the straight and narrow. So looking back on Potter there, David Sabra still leader in the very distinctive yellow and red car. 83 on the side, so he's got my race number on it, so it must be a good car. No, I say that with my tongue firmly in my cheek with that one. Down the back straight goes David Sabra. Can he hold on? He's, like I say, got one race win today and indeed the quickest lap in qualifying. Can he get a maximum 3 out of 3? We'll find out. He's got a few more laps to circulate the track yet. And you never know what manner of thing could happen. It's motor racing, anything can happen and normally does. At least he hasn't got any chances of safety cars coming out with 3 laps to go and then getting half the car sent round to the back and then going for a 1 lap restart. Leaders have closed right up again. The gap is down to 2.1 seconds. Now, if he's closing at this sort of pace, we could be on for the gap's gone back up by 0.2 seconds, in fact. But if he kept closing the way he was, to be honest, the next 2 or 3 laps, we could have had a fairly tasty battle on our hands between the top 2. But as it stands, they're still a bit too far apart to do anything. Potter is still trying to do his very best to come back from his spin, but I think it was just too much to really ask to get back on that, to get back on terms following that moment. So that was a huge moment. In fact, I think Porsche came so lucky because it looked like he was going to roll over him. I mean, that would have been our first rollover of the season in the Formula Fords, and certainly would have earned himself a perfectly good place on the Havoc crash tapes of the 80s and 90s. But I think he's probably more worried about whether Simon Witt can close in number 32. That's certainly what I'd be more concerned about at this point in time. Round Spa corner, Potter runs a little bit on the wide side. Witt keeps it a bit tighter. Leaders are 2.1 seconds apart at the moment. That's on the previous split time. Obviously, it may change as they come back to the start-finish line. It's down to 1.8 seconds, and Potter's gone off again! He's into the tyres! Not quite. Well, that was a scary moment and a half. That was a little bit of a heart in your mouth moment there for Owen Potter. Nearly ended up going straight into the hay bales behind the barrier. I think that'd be a first car to hit that this afternoon. So, while all that was going on, the lead battle, as I said, had closed down to 1.8 seconds. Whether that's going to be the case on the next timing beam, I don't know. We'll find out. So Simon Witt is right on Owen Potter's rear gearbox. He's going around the outside of him. Can he do it? Oh, he has to start backing behind. He's going to try a dive on the inside of Sonny, is he? No. Oh, maybe. There's a bit of contact, I think, mid-bend. So that was very close to being a stock car move there, but they've survived it. They're going side by side down the road. So they make more contact and Potter shoves Witt off the track. That was incredibly close to going all terribly wrong for the third place battle. But it's good to see a battle back on track, and Potter's running wide. He's almost hit the bales. Goodness me. So Potter is really getting a little bit messy out there, and he's run wide, and here comes Witt on the inside. Side by side. And Witt's through. We've got to change to third place at long last. But Potter's going to come back on the inside of the chicane. Side by side in the chicane. They lock up. Potter does anyway. They bang wheels midway through the chicane. And Witt's gone back down to fourth. Potter's through for third. And Potter's gone sideways. Here comes Witt back round the outside. Joe Gillett is catching these two as well. This could be very insane in the closing laps. And Witt's back through for third. So, after some excitement there, it's all possibly going to calm down again. No, it's not, as Witt's gone sideways. He's going to go around. Potter's in the front wing. Potter can't. He's gone around. So, Owen Potter goes for a second spin in the race. And he's down possibly to fifth place. Yes, Gillett goes through. Potter, he wipes him out of the way through, though. So, it's all gone horribly wrong. And Potter is down to fifth place. So, it couldn't have gone any more badly wrong for Potter there. That was an incredible compilation of bends, and well, it was coming for a number of corners, unfortunately, and finally the back end broke and it was gone. The lead battle has gone up to, is the lead battle actually down to 0.7? It is indeed. We saw shoe draw getting out of the way there of Simon Witt, but the lead battle, now that we've had one battle finished, another battle has started. How very convenient of you. So, coming round then, it's very close to the front. We're just see what lap we've gone to now. We're on to lap number 15, so we are in the closing laps now of tonight's Formula Ford action. Bicula looks to the inside of Sabra. He can't make it happen this time. Biden Sabra's gone a little bit on the sideways side. Yes, that does make sense, honest. And they're going side by side. This is McCullough's going on the outside. No, he's not able to make it happen this time. So I think the next opportunity will be at the Sunny Bend, which traditionally now is the very tip of the course at Croft. And well, Sabra's held it round Sunny, which is a relatively good start to his campaign to hold the lead. Slipstream down the railway straight. Good bit of slipstream here. And McCullough's on the inside for Sparko. He's going in the braking zone. Yes, he's through. Sabra's going to try and go in the outside. Though Oxo, I very much doubt this is going to happen. No, McCullough's going to wash a bit wide. Though corner exit. And Sabra's doesn't need asking. He tries to go back down onto the inside line. He's trying his hardest. No, he can't make it stick on the inside. So McCullough is now your race leader in car number 3. And off the road goes Sabra, nearly into the bridge support. Survived it just about. And the gap is 0.7 seconds the other way around this time. Simon Witt's away in second. Gillett is 4th. I apologise, Witt is actually 3rd. 5th place is Owen Potter. And we have lost Shudra. He's retired, so I think he's giving up as a bad job. So there's just the 5 of them that are circulating in this particular juncture for the Formula Fords. Sabra's trying around the outside line of McCullough. Sure, this isn't going to work around Barncroft. It's not. Sabra thinks better of it. But even so, he's still trying again. As they go around Sunny Corner, they make a bit of contact midway through the bend. And Sabra's tucked right underneath that little sort of spoiler-style thing on the back of that number 3 car. Side by side into the left-hander at Spa. The door is closed. And here we go again. Sabra's got the inside line, 1 wheel on the grass, maybe 2 perhaps in there, and comes a bit comes wide on the exit. He's going to try and dive to the inside once more. He's got him as they go into the chicane. Can he get it stopped? Just about. McCullough tried to hold it around the outside, but that chicane, with all due respect to the drivers, is not wide enough for 2 cars. So backing out is pretty much the only option they've got at that particular juncture. So here comes McCullough to the inside of Sabra. Can he get him on the inside at Tower Bend? The answer to that question is maybe. I can't give you a full answer at the moment because I don't know. Well, no, he can't, as Sabra gets to run around the outside of McCullough. So it's still these 2 at the head of the field. 0.3 seconds with the gap that time around for them. We are very much ticking down the laps now in this particular race. We're on to lap number 17, so we are in the final few laps now. We're just seeing who's going to try and stop him. McCullough's got out the slipstream of Sabra again. He's going to try the inside at Spa Bend. He's going to try it. He's got it through on the inside this time at least, so it's been successful. Sabra might get the inside line for Oxo. It's going to be side by side between the 2 of them as they come towards the chicane. Still going side by side. McCullough's held it around the outside this time at least. That hitting the grass. That's where he fell victim in the early stages of this grand final for the Formula 4 States. So Sabra bounces off the wall a little bit then. McCullough's going to try and get a run down the straight, I should say. Get your words out in the right order, preferably. As they come down now towards the right-hander at Tower again. This time the door is left not quite as wide. And Sabra's going to hold it around the outside still, but McCullough still can't find the way through. Like I say, McCullough was 2nd place as David Sabra in Heat 1, so he's looking for some sort of vengeance or consolation to the evening's racing to try and get a win. Obviously, they could indeed score the fast lap, and I'm not sure what's happened, but we've lost Owen Potter and Simon Witt in the meantime. I don't know where they've gone, whether they've crashed into each other, I don't know, but they've gone missing. They're not on the timing screen anymore, so we've only got 3 left. I don't know whether we can find a replay of what happened to those 2. There's now Pastor McCullough's pushed David Sabra into Spa Corner. That was a daring move and a half. That nearly put Sabra into Matthew Cibioni's favourite wall. I think we need to rename that corner Cibioni for the next appearance here. It would make more sense. So going down to the inside, McCullough's looking to the inside of the chicane, and his nose chopped off again. So let's have a lap check, shall we? Coming through into lap number 19. So just 2 laps to go now for this first 2 We've only got one car left. That's Joe Gillett. McCullough coming to the inside line in number 3. He's gone through, but he's slide job on the inside sprint car style, and Sabra's got back down the inside again. So it's all chop and change at the head of the field. Into the S as they come for the penultimate time of asking. Gillett is probably not going to get anywhere higher than 3rd place now, but this 1-2 are certainly the place to look. They've been very, very quick all day, these two. They've been the 2 quickest cars on track, I think, by that shadow of a doubt. Potter got there in qualifying, but I don't think his race pace was quite as quick as maybe a couple of other drivers. But we've already seen these two have set identical lap times so far in this race. And it's certainly looking like they're well and truly on the way to a 1-2 finish. Pascal McCullough down this Spa Bend, but he's taken a line that was almost too tight there and he's lost momentum. Sabra retakes the lead on the inside in car 83. McCullough in second in number 3. And I think these two are well and truly away on the front. One more lap to go now for them in the very near future as they go through the chicane once more. It's one more lap to go for David Sabra, car 83, your race leader, but Pascal McCullough's right there. Oh, that would have been close. Oh, well, that was a dead heat across the starting line. If that was the final lap, that would have been impressive, wouldn't it? But McCullough made the move around the outside entrance to Tower Bend that time around, so it's now McCullough your race leader. Sabra is running closely behind in 2nd place. And I'm not sure we're going to see, well, we'll probably see a position change before the end of the lap, but who is going to work in favour of is a different question. Sabra's there as well on the outside. Can he make it work? He slots back in behind McCullough. McCullough holds the inside line. And they're now going to slipstream each other down the railway straight for the final time. Side by side, they're going to go. This could be the deciding move of the race. And Sabra's got the nose ahead as they go into Spa Bend, which is left-hand, which will benefit him no end. McCullough is hung out to dry and will try again on the inside line, or maybe the outside line, maybe. He's going to try for the cutback. He's not going to make it happen. He's going to try around the outside as they come to the chicane, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It could be too little too late for the German. He's going around the outside. Last day breaks in the chicane for the final time. McCullough backs out. Sabra's got the inside line. Checker flags out the ready for them. And your race winner is going to be number 83 of David Sabra. 2nd place is going to be of Pascal McCullough, and 3rd place, eventually, if we can find him on the timings, if we can find him on the cameras, will be Joe Gillett in 57. But that's a race win for David Sabra in car 83, and that was a fantastic race right to the bitter end. 1/10 of a second is the winning margin, and here comes Joe Gillett to finish the race. Well done, Joe, for finishing 3rd place in that high rate of attrition race. He finishes some 26 seconds off the leading 2. But very well done to all our Formula 4 drivers this afternoon here at Croft. A fantastic display of racing from every single one of them. And hopefully more of this will come as the season progresses. So that will round out our day's race. Get a final result for you in just a few minutes' time. And then we'll decide what's going to happen. But that certainly is one hell of a way to start the season, and hopefully we get more of the same from them in 2 weeks' time when they make their way to Alton Park in Cheshire, the beautiful circuit up in the north of England near Crewe. Of course, famous for building railway locomotives is Crewe. Obviously, steam locomotives and indeed modern railway locomotives you see on the road, on the rails in the UK, not the road. So Joe Gillett finishing off the day with some donuts there, using the runway to full effect. There you can see some very second-hand looking Formula Fords in there. I think one of those cars certainly belonged at one point or another to Matthew Sibioni there, as the entire left-hand side of the car was ripped off. So let me just go into...
We've got some race results now.
Yep, I was just going to go into them.
Oh, that was a close race. David Sabre wins this one at the time of 25 minutes and 52.712 seconds. Yours truly, myself, I'm behind him 57 1,000ths of a second. That was close. It was almost too close to call. So thank God for electronic timing and scoring. Joe Gillett is on the podium, 26.5 seconds off. And then the DNFs, all of them say accident. So Simon Witt, Owen Potter, Dimitri Shudrov, and Matthew Sibagnoni.
Now, I don't know what happened to Owen Potter and Simon Wick. They just disappeared off the timing screen, so given that they must have both binned it somewhere out of our sight. So bad luck to them, and well done to our three finishers. That was a high rate of attrition, that one, for the Formula Fords. But so that's about as far as we take you this evening here at the Classic Motorsport Hub. Our next race meeting will be taking place on Sunday, the 27th of March, for the Trans Am cars, the big muscle cars, and the slightly lower horsepower saloon cars as well, as they go on to race at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course in America. And then we're back after that on the 31st of March with our second round of the Formula Ford National Championship at Alton Park. So on behalf of all of us here at the Classic Motorsport, thank you very much for your support this evening, and we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.
Good night.